Hi everybody, this is Danny. I am the Kidtropolis educator at Children's Museum Houston, and today I'm coming to you from my own backyard. So in Kidtropolis we have our Art Academy exhibit, and one of the things that I get to do for my job at Children's Museum is I get to come up with the programming that we do every week in Art Academy. So I get to come up with activities that involve paint, and we can do collage, and we can do different kinds of drawing and putting different materials together in really interesting ways. But one of the things that we can't really do in Art Academy is things that actually take more than one day to do. Because a lot of art projects, you have to do a step and then you have to wait a while for it to dry before you can move on to the next step. So some art projects might even take a few days to get done, like the types that you might do in school. So one project I thought I would do with you all today is something that we can't really do in Art Academy, but it uses a lot of the same art skills that we like to learn while we are in Art Academy at the Children's Museum in Kidtropolis, and that is using paper mache. Now some of you might have done this before, but paper mache, basically what we're going to do is we're going to take a glue water-based solution and some strips of newspaper, and we're going to wrap them around something. We can kind of build off of some sort of structure. Now one structure that is often used for this is a balloon. This is a balloon that I was able to find. I borrowed it from my kid, but she said it was okay. So I have this balloon here I can turn into my paper mache base, but if you don't have a balloon, that's okay. You can actually just take another piece of newspaper. Let me get my newspaper over here. And you can ball up your newspaper and you can actually build your strips around that. Or you can take something like a toilet paper roll and you can use that for your base. So I'm actually going to do both of these here. The simple one I'm going to do is going to be, I'm going to make a little bit of a microphone by taking my balled up newspaper, and I'm just going to kind of get a little end going for it just so that it stays in one place. And I'm going to put this right in here. There's going to be the base for my microphone, okay? Now for the other thing, I'm going to try to turn this into a piggy bank, because at Kidtropolis we also have our Bank of America branch, and it's very, very important in Kidtropolis for us to explore financial literacy as we work different jobs. We earn money and we get to decide what to do with that money. And one of the things that you can do is save it. So we're actually going to make a little bit of a piggy bank today. So we're going to need a balloon if we're going to do this part, and if you don't have a balloon, you can try it with just that balled up newspaper like I said before. And then we're also going to use an egg carton. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do this step first, and then I'll come back to you all once this is done. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut 5 little squares off of my egg carton here. So I'm going to use some scissors to do this. Of course, if you are cutting things at home, just make sure that you have an adult watching or helping as you need. All right, so you guys wait there. I'll be right back. Okay, I have my egg carton cut up. I now have 5 smaller pieces, each of which would hold 1 egg. And then I also had these little pieces that were sticking out towards the top. I'm gonna save them. These are gonna be my pig's legs and its snout. And then I'm gonna save these to make some little pig ears. I thought that would be kind of cute. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attach these to my balloon. I just need some tape. Now I wish I had some masking tape at home, but I don't. I have a little bit of Scotch tape, and that's gonna work just fine for me. So I'm gonna take one of them and I'm gonna put it right on top. And I don't have to tape this really well. I just need it to stay on. So this is gonna be my piggy's little snout. Very cute. Okay, now I'm gonna take 4 more and I'm gonna tape them to the bottom. And these are gonna be my pig's legs. So let's see if that's his nose. I'm gonna put 1 leg here. Let's see, I'm gonna need a little bit more tape on that one. There we go. All right, I've got a leg. Got my second leg going up here. Awesome. All right, I got a snout and I've got 2 front legs. I need a little bit more tape for the back. I'm gonna put 1 piggy leg right here. Oops, didn't need to tape that to the balloon. There we go. And I'll put my last piggy leg over here. Tape these guys together. And I'm gonna tape this one right down here. Awesome. There's my pig. He's doing pretty well, right? Now the next thing we need to do is we need to make the glue for our paper mache. Now there's actually a lot of different recipes, a lot of different ways you can make this glue. One very, very simple way, you just mix together equal parts of flour and water. So that's what I have here. I'm gonna start off with just half a cup because I don't think I need too much here. So I got half a cup of flour. I'm gonna dump this into, this is just like a leftover Tupperware from some groceries that I had bought. If you are gonna use a bowl or something like that, again, just make sure that you have your parents' permission, and then you're gonna wanna wash it as soon as you're done. If you let it sit, it turns hard because it's kind of like glue, right? And then it becomes a lot harder to clean, way less fun. So I've added in, for me, I'm just starting with a little bit. I had half a cup of flour and half a cup of water, and I'm gonna mix this together. Now I'm using a whisk from my kitchen to mix these two things together, but you can just use a spoon. You can even use a stick if you don't want to get a bunch of dishes dirty. That's totally understandable. And I'm just gonna keep mixing this together. I want it to be not lumpy. That's sort of the important thing. This takes a minute too, so you guys can just hang out for a minute, watch me whisk this together. Very exciting. Okay, now when I'm done, I've got something that it's a little bit thick. I could probably add a little bit more water, but since I'm outside, I'm gonna say it's okay for today. But this is gonna actually be my glue. Now this is the part that gets kind of messy, okay? So if you've noticed, I did put newspaper down on my table. Even though I'm working outside, I still don't want my surface to get really messy. So wherever you do decide to work, make sure that you protect your surfaces so that we don't make a big mess doing this. All you're gonna do is you're gonna take strips of newspaper. I cut mine up with scissors. You can just tear them if you'd like. And I'm gonna take them and I'm gonna dip them in my glue mixture, and I'm gonna make sure the whole thing is coated with glue. Now you don't want it soaking wet, so usually once you've got it wet, you can kind of take 2 fingers and squeeze off the extra stuff. And then you're gonna just take this and you're gonna wrap it around one point of your paper mache. Now sometimes it's kind of nice to start in an easy point, which is why I'm going right for the middle of my little piggy here. And you're gonna get it nice and smooth, kind of seal some of these edges around. If you need to, you can kind of wrap some points over, things like that. But we're just gonna keep doing this one piece at a time. So like I said, this project takes a little while, not only because we're gonna have to wait for it to dry before we can move on to the next step, but also because it tends to take a lot of pieces of newspaper. You have to use each one piece at a time. You have to make sure that you get it wrapped where you want it, and then you wanna put enough coats on that it actually holds its form, because eventually, if we're using a balloon at least, we're gonna take our balloon out of here. All right, so this one I'm starting to wrap around my first egg carton piece. And again, I'm gonna keep making sure I smooth it along as I go so that I don't have any weird lumps and bumps, places that I don't want lumps and bumps, okay? I'm gonna keep going with this. I'm also going to put my paper strips around my microphone here. I'm gonna go all the way around the edges. I'm gonna cover this piece at the top, and I'm also gonna cap it off at the bottom. And I will show you when this is all done, all right? All right, everybody, we are finished. I should probably introduce my daughter. This is Coraline, and she actually helped me out here. So while I was working on my piggy, and here is the final product of my piggy. He does need to dry, of course. Coraline worked on the microphone here. So we were able to get this done. We didn't use too much newspaper. We still have a little bit of our goop left over, and we are pretty messy. So we're gonna go clean up. We're gonna leave all of this to dry. Now this is gonna take a while to dry. It's probably best if you leave it until the next day, and then that's when you get to move on to decorating. So for now, we're gonna say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
And we'll see you soon. Hi everybody, we are back. So we have finished our paper mache pieces and they are now totally dry. Check it out. So here is our microphone, which my daughter made, and then here is our piggy. And what we have done to the piggy at this point, not only did we let him dry, but we had the little bit of the balloon sticking out as kind of a tail. So we were able to pop the balloon and pull that out. And then we had some pipe cleaner sitting around, so we just replaced the tail with a little pipe cleaner. You don't need to do that if you don't want to. And then as a grown-up step, for those of you at home, you do need to have somebody who can take something like a sharp knife and cut out a spot that you can actually put your coins in so that this can be a piggy bank. So at this point, everything is dry. Now it is time to decorate. So my daughter actually has some paints that she's going to use, and she's going to decorate the piggy. She liked that one best. So she's going to use the paints, and she's going to paint the entire pig. Meanwhile, what I'm going to do, and Corey, you can go ahead and start that now. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use some tissue paper that we have. So this is just tissue paper that we actually bought for crafts, but if you have leftover tissue paper, like from gift wrapping, you can just cut it up into small pieces like this. And then we can actually apply this in a really similar way to how we did the paper mache. This time, instead of using flour mixed with water, I have glue mixed with water. So again, it's kind of equal parts, maybe a little bit more glue than water so it doesn't get too watery, but this is just basic school glue. You can apply it with your fingers, or if you want, you can use a paintbrush. So I can get a little bit of glue onto my paintbrush and I can put it on. Let's start with our handle here. I'll put some glue on the handle. Then I can take one of my pieces of tissue paper and set it on. And then I'm going to use a little bit more glue and paint right over the top like that. And then I can just keep going with this. Grab another piece and then glue this one over the top. And we cover the entire thing with glue. If you have something like Mod Podge at home, this is basically Mod Podge. It's the same kind of idea, but we're just using our own school glue that we have sitting around the house. So again, you can just keep adding one piece at a time, or you can always paint as my kid is doing here. So we're gonna go ahead and finish up our projects and we'll show you what they look like when they're all done. All right, everybody, we are officially done with our paper mache project. Corey, do you want to show off your piggy bank? So after she was done painting, we let the paint dry, and then we actually added a layer of that same glue water that we used on this. That just helps give it a nice seal and helps protect it a little bit better. And then we finished up the microphone as well with all of these different pieces of tissue paper and that same glue water over the top. So now our piggy bank is ready. We can go ahead and put a penny inside that piggy bank. There we go. We've already started saving. Awesome. And of course our microphone is ready so that we can sing some songs. You ready? Go. We'll practice. We'll work on it. Thank you everybody so much for joining us here at home. I'm Danny. I'm the Kidtropolis educator. Thanks again to our sponsor of Kidtropolis, Bank of America. We hope you have a great day and we will see you soon. La, la.